Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Venezuela's opposition leader declares himself the country's interim president. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, January 23rd. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. Venezuela plunged into further political confusion on Wednesday when opposition leader Juan Guaido declared himself the acting leader of the country. His action received a swift approval from the United States, Canada, Brazil, and other Latin American countries, with the U.S. leader Donald Trump saying he recognized Guaido as interim president and urged other Western governments to follow suit. Secretary General of the Organization of American States, the OAS, Luis Almagro, tweeted congratulating Guaido and recognizing him as the interim president of the South American nation. The move came as tens of thousands of Venezuelans took to the streets in protest against President Nicolas Maduro. Maduro was sworn in for a second term earlier this month, following a poll that much of the international community considered a sham. In the face of the latest developments, he remained defiant and retaliated by cutting diplomatic relations with Washington and ordering all U.S. diplomatic staff in Venezuela to leave within 72 hours. Maduro took up office in 2013 following the death of Hugo Chavez, but the country has plunged into economic and political instability under his leadership, with hyperinflation and shortages of food and other essential supplies forcing millions to flee the country in recent times. Earlier this month, CARICOM was divided on a vote on a resolution by the OAS not to recognize Maduro's second term. Well, in an immediate reaction to the developments in Venezuela, political scientist Peter Wickham described the decision by some governments to recognize Guaido as president as hasty.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a surprise. I'm clear in my mind that President Maduro has lost considerable support. My concern is that I am not convinced he has lost legitimacy, and I think that we have to be careful not to mix up the two. In light of that, I was a bit surprised at the fact that you had a declaration of a person who purports to be the new president, and the fact that he's receiving support from countries like the United States and Canada, as I understand it. That is a bit surprising. I also think it's a bit hasty.
Wickham also told CMC News that it was vital for the region to speak on the issue, ideally with one voice.
Yeah. So the Caribbean reaction is pivotal largely because we would have a substantially greater influence in the Organization of American States. It's interesting that in the OAS, the United States of America is certainly one of the more powerful members, but it is a member, and we outnumber them, and hence our view would be significant. There has been a divide within the OAS for some time, where some members have been uncomfortable with the position of Maduro and the legitimacy of that administration, and others haven't been. Remember, Maduro has been a godfather to many of us in the Caribbean. You only need to think as far back as Hurricane Maria, when he was, extended a hand of friendship and help. And I think that for those reasons, many of the governments are less anxious to condemn him and cast him away. And as a result, they represent a divide. But I think it's critical that the Organization of American States takes a position, since their position, I think, will be the one that is considered more seriously, because it is a relevant regional organization. And as I said, it's one in which we would have a superiority of numbers over the United States of America.
In other news, a motion to get the leader of Trinidad and Tobago's main opposition, United National Congress, to seek alliances with other parties to form a coalition to contest upcoming elections is on the cards. Chaguanas West MP Ganga Singh will move the motion at the UNC's National Assembly this weekend as the party readies itself to contest the 2019 local government elections and the 2020 general elections. The motion is being supported by San Juan Barataria MP Dr. Fuad Khan. The two senior MPs want Kamla Prasad Besessar to pursue a coalition similar to the People's Partnership of 2010, as we hear in this report from Akash Samru of CNC3 News.
Well, they say if it's nice, you do it twice. It's been said before that the only way the PNM could be removed from power is with a coalition, and history lends some credit to that. It's why UNC MPs Dr. Fuad Khan and Mr. Ganga Singh are calling for what can be seen as a People's Partnership 2.0. This document, signed by both Singh and Khan, is requesting that Kamla Prasad Besessar lead, undertake and initiate discussions with other political entities and progressive individuals committed to national development to create a strong and sustainable political movement to defeat the PNM in both local and general elections. Now, the document says this is necessary because of what they say is the PNM's mismanagement and acknowledging that history has shown that the PNM can be defeated by a united front. We reached out to both Dr. Khan and Mr. Singh, who confirmed that they did sign the document. Dr. Khan said he wants the leader to reach out to who he's calling the normal players. Well, we asked who they were.
Mr. Vasan Bharat, Mr. Pandey, Mr. Jack Bono, Ms. Carolyn Prasad Deshan, and the NJAC people who have been with us for a long time, and the TOP people.
But right now in the UNC, there's internal discord. Fresh faces are coming in. So does that mean the older heads are worried and are calling to bring back the old-time ways and hold on to office? Well, Dr. Khan says that's not the case.
Young people will get their seats. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that. But however, not having the older heads and the total coalition behind us, we may not achieve the objective of defeating the PNM.
Now, this could be the big talking point come this Sunday at the party's National Assembly, but it could also fall flat. The resolution will come up for discussion, but only if the party members there vote in favor so they can proceed. Just last month, former UNC chairman Jack Warner made a similar call for unity.
Meantime, Khan on Wednesday insisted that the call for an alliance with other parties is not an attempt to challenge Prasad Besessar's leadership. He told CNC3 News that the aim is simply to improve the UNC's chances at the polls by consolidating it with other key players.
This is about trying to ask the membership to indicate to the political leader to have discussions. And you see, right now, in the atmosphere, it's that unity, no unity, yes unity, no unity, and also who starts the discussions and where do we want to go. We could do, the membership could say, okay, no, we don't want this resolution, it has been defeated. Okay, we stop there.
But Khan says former UNC high-profile members are already showing interest in embracing integration.
Some have said in conversations that we need to get together to defeat the PNM because the country is going down a chute. The country is going to hell. People can't get jobs. People can't get health care. People can't get, their houses are being sold. Their cars are being sold. Money is tight. But yet the PNM in Parliament is saying everything is all right.
Telecommunications giant Cable and Wireless has been granted leave to pursue a lawsuit against Grenada's Telecommunications Minister Gregory Bowen and the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, on the grounds of discrimination. In a statement, Cable and Wireless Grenada Limited, which operates on the island as Flow, said it had obtained leave from the High Court to sue over alleged improprieties in the issuance of spectrum licenses to telecommunications providers in Grenada. The company said that since 2008, it repeatedly applied for an LTE spectrum license without success. It says it considers the failure of the minister to grant the license as discriminatory. As a result of the High Court ruling, Cable and Wireless has 14 days to pursue the matter. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, 2 officers accused of murder in Jamaica are freed of the charges. Stay with us.
Barbados, get ready for the 5th Fish and Dragon Festival. This spectacle comes off at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium on Wednesday, January 23rd at 5 p.m. It features at 7:30 p.m. the charming Beijing Tarjin Hubei Arts Group from China. Additional performances include Calypso Monarch Mr. Blood, singer Kelly Cadogan, the Pineless Creative Workshop, traditional Chinese land dance and drumming, martial arts displays, Chinese interactive language and video rooms, traditional Beijing and Chinese food and delicacies, and lots more. That's the 5th Fish and Dragon Festival, and it's free.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
We continue in Jamaica. 2 police officers charged with killing 2 men reported to have been members of a criminal gang have been freed of the murder charges. Chief Justice Brian Sykes instructed the jury in the case against Constable Kenneth Daly and Corporal David Hutchinson to return a not guilty verdict after the prosecution said it had no witnesses. The officers were on trial for the murders of reputed gang members of the St. Catherine-based Klansman gang, Derek Crabbolton and Rohan Dixon, on August 13, 2010. The lawmen said they had gone in search of men who'd carried out a deadly rampage in which 8 people were killed the night before, and defense lawyers had insisted the police acted in self-defense when they shot the duo. Meanwhile, police are searching for members of a criminal gang in Manchester amid reports of threats of deadly attacks if their leader is not released from custody. The threats followed the arrest of Rohan Smiley, the alleged leader of the Greyhound gang, who was taken into custody last weekend in relation to 5 murders last month. We get more in this TVJ News report.
The police superintendent Wayne Cameron confirmed that the caller, who claimed to be a relative of Mr. Smiley, threatened to kill residents if their demand was not met.
2 phone calls were made to the CID, person making threatening remarks that they will kill persons in Mandeville every day, starting yesterday, if we did not release Mr. Smiley. Well, I'm going to hasten to say that Mr. Smiley will not be released.
Details of the threat have been making the rounds on social media. The Manchester Chamber of Commerce says it's causing fear among residents and business operators in the parish.
We can't verify how serious the threats are, right? So we have to take instructions or guidance from the police, and as business people, we just encourage persons to be extra careful, be on the lookout, and whatever information that they may have, to share it with the police.
We have taken note of the threat reports, and we have done a number of things practically in increasing our presence in the hotspot areas. And I'm talking about Grey Ground, Three Chains, Royal, Flat, and surrounding communities. And our presence in the township as well, to ensure that we can keep our residents safe.
However, a relative of Ron Smiley has denied that the family is behind the threat of violence against citizens.
Why are we going to just walk around and just take innocent lives? We're not stupid. We're not going to just go around. Trust me, we leave our vengeance to God, and there's no way for us to take the law into our own hands. So our point is, officer, law enforcers, go ahead, do your investigation and do it thoroughly and correctly.
The relative says the family has been fearful since the threat was made public. Mr. Smiley is in custody in relation to several murders in Manchester.
Over in Barbados, the murder toll has risen to 7 in just the first 3 weeks of the year, with the latest 4 of the killings occurring in the last 48 hours. The most recent of the deaths was recorded Tuesday evening. Police say the body of 35-year-old Barry Taylor was discovered with stab wounds at approximately 6:30 p.m. The bodies of 2 females were also discovered about a mile away from each other in the northern parish of St. Lucie on Monday. Around 9:15 a.m., the lifeless body of an unidentified female believed to be in her 60s was found in a bushy area next to an abandoned car. The other woman's body was found later that evening with significant head injuries. Police have not suggested that the killings are related. Lawmen are also continuing investigations into the death of 69-year-old Martha Doyle, a resident of a senior citizens' home in the south of the island. Her throat was said to have been slashed by a male resident on Monday evening. Barbados encourages manufacturers of plastics to produce environmentally friendly products as the island moves to ban single-use plastics. These stories and more in this week's Newsline Business.
Newsline Business is brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
Barbados is the latest CARICOM country to ban single-use plastics. Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, told a news conference on Tuesday the ban will take effect on April 1st, but manufacturers of plastics will have until January 1st, 2019 to phase out such production.
It is clear to us that the industry employs a number of persons and that even the extension to April 1st, 2019 did not allow them to make the adjustments. We've had several meetings since then, and we have determined almost as a team that the manufacturers of the single-use petrol-based plastic bags will be given until the first day in January 2020 to continue to manufacture plastic bags. But after January 1st, 2020, there will be no petrol-based plastic bags being used in Barbados either.
Humphrey says they will use that extension to transition to the production of environmentally friendly products.
In our conversations with the manufacturers of the plastic bags, we had agreed that over the 9 months between April and the end of December, that we will work very closely together to make sure that the manufacturers of plastic bags are in a position to make bags, but from a bio-based material, to use a different resin that would allow them to make an environmentally healthy and friendly bag, but that we will not be accepting plastic bags after that date.
Over in Trinidad, economist Mariano Brown says the economy is beginning to show signs of recovery. The former government minister told a Rotary Club luncheon the energy sector has shown slow growth, but others are still on the decline.
It's a quiet recovery in one particular sector. The construction sector is still depressed, financial activity is still slow, and what we consider to be the non-energy sector, the rate of decline has slowed. It hasn't come out of the decline phase as yet.
Labour Minister of the Bahamas, Dion Fowkes, has welcomed the results of the latest labour force survey, which showed a decline in unemployment for the period May to November last year.
There is an uptick of employment for young people between the ages of 15 and 25 that was revealed in the survey. So we are extremely pleased about that. On the downside, one of the things that we're concerned about is the unemployment, the disparity between men and women. Anecdotally, I don't understand that because it seems like more women are working than men in the various industries.
But Finance Minister Peter Turnquest says the government will continue efforts to boost job growth. Mary-Claire Williams, Newsline Business.
Newsline Business was brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
Shower in the morning, shower in the evening, or take a fresh at night. Enjoy a warm shower with Solar Dynamics, you feel alright. with safety, temperature guaranteed. Long service fulfilling your every need. Take a shower in comfort, no more ups with water touch you. Solar Dynamics is the best for you. Save on electricity, be environmentally friendly. Solar Dynamics is the one for you.
Ahead in Newsline Sport, Windies wickets tumble on the first day of the first test against England despite half centuries from 3 batsmen. We'll have a report on the first day's play after the break.
Like really. Y me hace tanta falta un beso tuyo, hacértelo bien rico.
Follow your heart to St. Kitts and make plans to join us at the 23rd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of world-class entertainment from Wednesday, June 26th to Sunday, June 30th, 2019. See Buju Banton live as he makes his epic return to St. Kitts. Also, French Montana and Davido. Popcorn. And the legendary Smokey Robinson. This is just the first wave of announcements. Many more acts to come. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.com. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Continuing with sports now, wickets tumbled on the first day of the first test between the West Indies and England at the Kensington Oval, despite half-centuries from Barbadians Shea Hope, Roston Chase and Guyanese batsman Shimron Hetmyer. The Caribbean side began the day on a strong footing, with opening batsman John Campbell stroking a well-played 44. It was Hope who commanded the innings with a superb knock of 57 from 148 balls, while Chase and Hetmyer added 54 and 56 runs respectively. But the new ball triggered a batting slide as Windies lost 4 wickets for 24 runs in the final session of the day. Medium pacer Jimmy Anderson had figures of 4 for 33, while Ben Stokes took 3 wickets for 47 runs. Here are the highlights.
Well, it was going so well for the Windies. You'd say they were on top at the start of the last session. It was a long session. We had a rain break. There was some good stroke play, some solid play, some good defence. But they didn't get away from England. It was going along at 2.6 and over. Joe Root was into the attack. He's bowled all 3 spinners, including himself. Moeen Ali went for 59. Jimmy Anderson's got through a fair amount of work. We saw some really good shots, but not able to capitalise the Windies. That was a let-off for Hetmyer, dropped by Joss Butler. It was a hard chance. Hetmyer with some great footwork, dancing down the pitch and smacking it into the screen. Wonderful shot through extra cover too. Well, the leg spinner ball pretty well out of Rashid for England. Hetmyer likes to hit some big shots. Pick the googly. So you'd say that the West Indies were really on top there. England taking the new ball, and then Anderson got going. Sam Curran opened the ball in alongside. Hetmeyer got into him. Joe Root took him out of the attack and brought on Ben Stokes. But Anderson's got to work. Back end of the day, and England looked fit. They looked fit and strong. And you need that in that last half hour. 50 for Hetmeyer. He's been eye-catching. Jason Holder, he's a real steadying influence. And then he popped one straight back to James Anderson. England sensing wickets. Rising delivery. Joe Root with 3 catches in the innings. Ben Stokes brought into the attack aggression. Good day's work then for England. Windies winning the toss and batting first.
Switching sports and moving to Jamaica, where 2 top coaches are sharing Usain Bolt's concern about the future of athletics in the country. TVJ's Keon Rayner reports.
Made by double sprint world record holder Usain Bolt on Monday that has stirred the debate.
A lot of the athletes aren't motivated anymore. When they leave high school and they get a big contract, then they're happy with whatever. So for me, hopefully these athletes can motivate themselves because we're not lacking of talent.
Maurice Wilson, who has served as either head coach or technical leader of the nation's track and field team since 2013 to global meets, agrees with Bolt.
Well, I've been making similar comments over the last 3 years. I have seen where we are not having our junior athletes performing, when they move to the senior ranks, performing as consistent as the group from 2008 to about 2011. And it is of serious concern.
Coach Stephen Francis, who has conditioned sprinters Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price and Elaine Thompson, as well as hurdlers Melaine Walker and Bridget Foster Hilton to Olympic and/or World Championships glory, says the level of male sprinting talent since Bolt and Ewan Blake has not been great.
In addition, I think the athletes have been led astray, in my opinion, by a combination of some shoe companies, their coaches at high school, and probably the parents, in that everybody believes that, looking at, I guess, Bolt and Blake, they believe that it was easy or almost a done deal for them to make a transition into where Bolt and Blake were.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Shower in the evening or take a fresh at night. Enjoy a warm shower with Solar Dynamics, you feel alright. Comfort, safety, temperature guaranteed. Long service fulfilling your every need. Take a shower in comfort, no more ups with water touch you. Solar Dynamics is the best for you. Save on electricity, be environmentally friendly. Solar Dynamics is the one for you.
And that's Caribbean Newsline from all of us at CMC News. Thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night.